Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to be looking into the past. We are going to be comparing and seeing how Future Fight has been moving forward through the years and how the game is becoming better for the player. I mean, as you can see, we've always been having certain things. It just got better. You know what I'm saying? Over time. And then Marvel found a way to make things a lot more accessible for the player base in the game. Um, some things haven't changed a lot, like the daily achievements and weekly achievements, but other things changed pretty drastically. And those are the things we want to touch on more today. Um, just kind of running through some things here. A lot of things are the same. A lot of things are the same. But let's start getting into the real juicy stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, I say one of the big things has to be the roster. The way the roster has changed, it's like, it's just more of a selection. And then, you got the T2 things going on. Um, it's just too much people that you could choose from, But let's get into this right here. Let's get into the story missions. As you can see here, things was very different back in the day. Things was a lot different. What you would do is you would farm in the story missions, and in the story missions there was two modes. There was normal and there was elite. In normal, you would grind for these material, as you can see, and you needed the material to get your gears up. But if you wanted bios, you would have to grind in the elite section. Now, in the normal section, it costs about 4 energy. In the elite section, it costs 6. You know, and as you can see, it wasn't really much bios you could get per day. You know, I think when the special missions dropped, once the Guardians of the Galaxy dropped, it changed the game a little bit. A lot. It definitely did. It made it a lot more accessible to get a 6-star character. A lot more easier. You know. Then we have Villain Siege. Villain Siege was tough content at one point. I mean, it definitely was. It used to rotate before they changed it up. Then they changed it to this right here. I think this was probably the most toughest it was though, because Venom was no joke. They had to actually nerf him because he was no joke. Wish he was like that, for real. And then we have this, the bonus missions. Bonus missions was just the perfect way to get gold added with, your co-op intake. You know what I'm saying? It was just perfect, man. As long as you could clear all of it, it didn't take long. It took probably 2 minutes. They basically gave co-op the bonus treatment, but the bonus was great. And then when World Boss dropped, that World Boss was just, we don't have to say how big World Boss was. Now, there was only 8 chapters in the game previously. Only 8 chapters. As you can see, it still was a pretty vast selection. But things really got better once they started adding more characters. Obviously, we got two new chapters. New storyline to the game. And then later on, much later on, comes 2 more chapters that brought new material into the game. Now as you can see, there's a lot of progression going on. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on. I mean, the game has changed so much. In this part of the chapter, characters are T2. The enemies are actually T2. Now look at the difference in bios that we can get. You know what I'm saying? For a character. For just, a good character like Sif, you're in a better space now because you can get 30 bios for her daily, which makes it easier to get her to 6-star, and then also you need those bios for native tier 2 characters so they can, level up. You can't use experience chips, so they had to bump up how much bios you could get to make the process of getting characters to T2 and moving up in the leveling up your base tier 2 character, excuse me. Just make that easier for you and make them more accessible, Now, special missions just changed recently, so we don't have to really talk too much about that, but I think I like the little stuff that they got going on. But let's get into the token shop. Now, the token shop, well, the Chaos token shop, I think is the better shop out of the two. As you can see, the bios, they just had a lot more rare characters, characters that's hard to find. They just need to utilize these shops a lot better, rotate in and out, bios and different things. But I think it's alright the way it is now, But anyway, the old arena. Take a look at this. Only 3 modes: timeline, team up or co-op, and alliance battle. Whoa, that. You know what I'm saying? Very big stuff when we got alliance battle. But let's run right into timeline. Timeline changed dramatically. Some of the best characters in timeline was like Yellow Jacket, Vision, Silk when she first dropped, Loki. She's just good at everything, right? It was just ridiculous. And the reason why your stats are the way, you have 100,000 health is because of this right here. These things, this little thing right here, this character bonus menu, this info is very big info. You should pay big attention to that. That's why it's really important to build your roster, because you never know how it affects you in game. So basically, the more characters you have of each type, the more character bonus you get in timeline. On top of whatever bonus you're getting from your alliance and things of that nature. Anyway, let's look inside the honor token shop. And now the bios here are a lot more lackluster. A lot more, but there's some okay bios in here. Like when Thor was in here, oh man, that's how I got him to 6-star. Good shit. I took full advantage because the only other place to get Thor was in chapter 8 for 5 bios after they bumped it from 3. Red Hulk was in here. I probably should have jumped on that, but I'm not a big fan of Red Hulk. So, I did not get it while the getting was good, if you will. But, I think the Chaos token shop is just way better. Now, one could probably argue that because cards are more valuable than custom gears, I guess, but I like the token shop better. They really rotated and they just made it. I like how they utilized that shop more than this shop, Now, they made timeline a lot more, I guess you could say, they just made it cool. They didn't make it necessarily a better mode itself, but they made it more cool. Now, AB, Alliance Battle, has always been the same. All they did was add everything you see on the bottom and change the rewards. I don't want to get too much into it, but because I think it's still fresh in our hearts, the change. But Alliance Battle now is strictly for this Alliance tournament. Dream lost, I voted for them, but they're pretty tough. They're a good team. But anyway, as you can see, there's a total of, I believe, 16 teams. And they duke it out, and one guy at the end gets these crystals, and if you cheer, you get gold, and if nobody cheers for a team, you get good rewards. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but anyway. Alliance tournament, it's still in beta stages, and I think, for people that spend all that money and, put in all that hard work, they could at least get that shit out of beta stage, you know? We don't got to talk too much about Shadowland. Big thing about Shadowland is the bios. A lot of people say it's in-game content. I tend to kind of disagree. I think it's a lot easier now. Just with the better characters. But anyway, we don't have to talk about World Boss Invasion either. That's kind of new too. But we do have to talk about this. Like I was saying earlier, the characters. Look at the selection and how things changed, you know? I had to put that picture up right there because, you know, people was going crazy over Doctor Strange and the Enchantress. And it's funny how they in the game now. But anyway, look at the difference. Look at the difference, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I couldn't find a picture of the Blast Class because that's how bad the Blast Class was. That's how bad it was. It was no reason to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And they have really came a long way. I think the Blast Class turned up. You know what I'm saying? The most. Speed Class still kind of looks the same, but there's a lot of good characters in Speed Class now. I mean, without a doubt. And the Universal Class still, they still struggle to get more characters, well, more heroes. You know. Anyway, let's jump into the gears. Now, see the difference in how it is now to level up. It's just pretty straightforward. Get yourself some gear up kits, get yourself some dimension debris, and you should be okay. You know what I'm saying? After that, of course, you need bios from getting your gears to from 15 to 20. For the base tier 2 characters, you need BAM. But it's pretty straightforward stuff, man. Pretty straightforward stuff, and they made it a lot more easier for you to level up your characters. You know, back in the day, getting gears to 15 was such a big deal because of how much material, how much farming it took to do this. You know, leveling up your skills was a big deal because it didn't go from level 1 to level 6. It went level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, level 7. It went like that, and it was like each one costed like 20,000 more. You know, so people didn't take skills no higher than like 30 in game. You know what I'm saying? It just was too it was too expensive. You know? And then on top of doing that, like I said, you was trying to get your gears to 15, roll your ISO 8 sets. And then the custom gears, as you can see here, I still kept a lot of the old custom gears just because of it was just nostalgic, you know, and you know, I spent a lot of time busting ass with these gears, so I took it upon myself to keep the good ones, you know what I'm saying? And it's just really cool to look at, to just, you know, have some that I could remember, you know, from back in the day, you know. These was good gears. A lot of people went for the crit rate or the dodge. Crit rates max was 35, dodge was 35 too. Anyway, as you can see here, they gave us more on the stat page. We could look at what we're getting from the gear, the ISO, our cards, what we're getting all together. We're getting more details like ignore defense, ignore dodge, shit like that. How much elemental damage. I mean, we didn't get all of that before. You know, we got what was their ability, and the shit ain't do nothing until we got World Boss. Then we get the tier 2 advancement, which makes your character stronger, gives them a new passive, which gives them an edge in the battlefield, you know. The tier 2 advancement is just a beautiful thing. Who knows if it's going to go to tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. I, for one, think that all characters will be getting another move. That's just me, though. I think, you know, we're missing, like, super moves, you know, like moves that, like, stop the screen and, like, you know, you can't dodge these moves, or we're missing those. Like, there's no immune to guard break or no, you know, nothing like that you can use, no debuff. This is just like we're missing super moves. That's just me though. I think that's in the works. I might be saying too much. But tier 2. Now, ISOs, they could change the game with ISOs. I think it's time for new ISOs. I think it's time for ISOs that bring like double procs, like ignore defense and skill cooldown, or ignore defense and crit damage on like power of Savage Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need new ISOs that, you know what I'm saying, that are evolved and that kind of show the progression of the game now. You know, these ISOs are good and they still do the same thing, but we don't need these. You know, we just don't need these. We don't need those old ISOs. Well, what I'm doing here is showing how the difference in the text of the characters, like character rebalancing. A lot of characters need rebalancing because some people's kits are just too reminiscent of where they was in the past, or where the game was in the past. Like, as we show with Black Panther, you know, there's characters that have skills that have a lot of text, that, you know, have a lot going on. And then we have characters that still have these, like, you know, nothing's happening text, you know? So we need to look at that more. We need to get into that stuff more, because this is the stuff that matters, and this is the stuff that's gonna make the game just a lot more fun. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think the game is getting better? Do you guys think things are a lot more accessible for you in the game? Do you guys think future patches are going to continue to further the game? Personally, I do, and I think that the game will continue to get better. We just got to continue to voice our opinions, continue to play the game, support the game, and put out these ideas, because you never know, you know, how big of a reaction the devs may be having to some of the stuff we're seeing. So anyway, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. You already know.